And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to the deepest place within us. Namaste, friends. Hello. I would like to introduce our musicians for today. We have our house band and the What Else Is Possible choir, led by our music director, Jimmy Townsend. Yeah. So let's stand, and they're going to have lyrics on the screen to your left so we can sing along.
The presence is here, the presence is here, love and spirit prevail on each face, the presence is here, the presence is here, I will meet you in grace. The presence is here, the presence is here, love and spirit prevail on each face, the presence is here, the presence is here, and I will meet you in grace. The presence is here, the presence is here, love and spirit prevail on each face, the presence is here, the presence is here, I will meet you in grace. Boom, boom, boom.
Another chord, please.
2, 3.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And inside I've got that everlasting love that shines just like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for. Boom, boom, boom. Deep down inside I've got that everlasting presence that shines just like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm waiting for. Deep down inside I've got that everlasting faith that shines just like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for. Boom, boom, boom. Deep down inside I've got that everlasting joy. It shines just like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give. It's the way that I live. It's what I'm living for. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Deep down inside I've got that everlasting love. It shines just like the sun. It radiates on everyone. And the more that I give, the more I've got to give.
right, friends, while you're on your feet, please turn to one another and offer the namaste greeting. Namaste. Namaste, musicians. Thank you. Namaste, love streamers. Thank you for tuning in. And namaste to our tech team, Brian, Matthew, and Gina's up front today because she's on double duty. Namaste. Namaste, friends. And as you take your seat, please also take a moment to silence your cell phones. Hi. Hello. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual leader here. I use she, her gender pronouns, and the land upon which we gather is the unceded territory of the Chumash and Salinan people. It is my joy to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. And friends, we exist to raise the vibe, and we envision a joyful, happy world. We have an affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I am a conscious creator. I live in this marvelous moment. And so it is. And now our practitioner for the day, Gina DiGirolamo, is going to come up and offer the reading for us and do our opening spiritual mind treatment. Thank you, Gina. And before that, I wanted to call your attention to the salmon-colored form that was in your program when you picked it up on your way into the service this morning. This is a prayer request form. And friends, if there is anything that is weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe you're looking to manifest something in your life, whatever it is, we invite you to fill out a prayer request form. We are a community who loves to pray, and we believe in the power of prayer. And you have a soul support team of 7 of us right now, ministers and practitioners. And what happens when you turn these in is that our practitioner of the day takes them home and types them up and emails them to us, and then we get to pray over your prayer requests for the week. Now, this is a great thing, and again, we love to pray. There's no prayer too big or too small. And so even if it's a celebration or a gratitude you want to put down, we invite you to do that. And then you can fold it up and place it in the offering basket when it comes around at the end of the service, or you can put it in the prayer box over to my left on the prayer table there. And there's additional forms if you have multiples. And also, if you're on your way home and you come up with something, you can email us at info@awakeningways.org with the subject line prayer request, and that will get forwarded to our soul support team who will pray for the week for you. And Gina is going to be available after the service for what we call 1-minute miracles in the foyer. There's a little prayer nook over to our right. And if you haven't had prayer with Gina, I highly encourage it. It's her service to you, and it's just what we do. So give her a try. She's amazing. Thank you. Whoa.
Very much. Woo. Okay, no problem. All right, I'm going to read a little bit from our book of the year, which is 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. And for May 24th, the title is, Today I Lose All Condemnation. I judge not, and I am judged only by the law of God. When Jesus said that we should not judge lest we be judged, he was stating the action of the law of cause and effect. If we wish a complete clearance from any sense of condemnation of others, if we wish a complete clearance from any sense of condemnation about ourselves, we must first be certain that we have released all condemnation of others from our own mind. When we do this, we meet others in a new light, and reaching back of all judgment and criticism, establish a relationship between the spirit that is within them and the same spirit that is within us. For God is one in all people. So I just realized that God is love, His peace is joy. God, the divine, the Spirit, the force. I know that this one that I speak of is the same for all, yet each being has their own unique connection and word for connecting with the divine. And I know that it is the great motivating power of life. I know that it is what has manifested me into existence, and I know that's the same for everyone. I know that we are all unique, individualized expressions of this one. While we are one, we are not the same, and we recognize spirit in each other. So I know that this day is released of any kind of thoughts of others that are less than or not right or anything like that. I just let that go, knowing that each being is a divine expression. And I know that this community is an example of that divinity. It's an example of the uniqueness and how we can love each other just as we are and come together. And I know this day is an expression of that, and I know Reverend Elizabeth's talk today is Spirit speaking through her as her in her own unique individual way, and each one of us listens and hears the message in our own way, knowing that there is a golden nugget in every word and that we are able to receive it. I know the music and the musicians and Jimmy and the choir and all of our voices together create such a beautiful, harmonious expression of love. And I know that it is a day filled with joy. And so I just allow it to unfold peacefully, easily, beautifully. And I see that light in each and every being. So I just say thank you. Thank you, Divine. Thank you for expressing so beautifully. Thank you for allowing me to experience life on this planet. And thank you for these words being manifested into truth. And so there's nothing left for me to do other than releasing this word into the law, knowing that Spirit's taking care of all of it. And I just claim it. And together we say, and so it is.
All right, we have a slight change in the order of service this morning. So let me give you a little, the danger zone there. So this morning I've invited Reverend Susan to come up and share a little bit. She has an insight talk. Yeah, come on up. That she's going to share with us, which is a short, like a power talk, right? And she has so much joy around this recent experience that I knew she needed to share that with you all. Even just the joy alone is really awesome. So let's give Reverend Susan some love.
Well, good morning. So this is so funny. So this is not a commercial, but my husband and I acquired a new vehicle. Last week, we bought an electric vehicle. And so I wanted to just share how this Science of Mind teaching assisted through this entire process, okay? So first of all, my husband is a mechanic. He could actually make a car out of a bunch of parts, right? But he's the mechanic of the gasoline engine, right? So you could imagine he's pretty committed to that, right? But he actually was the one that got inspired to start looking for electric cars. And I know for him it was about gas prices, right? Like, oh, the gas prices are getting so high. And so being a creative, as he is, he started looking at alternatives. So rather than us sitting around wringing our hands and saying, woe is us, the gas is so expensive, maybe we should not take these trips, we said, well, what else is possible? Yeah, so we found this, we decided on what kind of vehicle we wanted, right? Now, the other part about life is, we talk about collective consciousness in this community. Well, if you don't know what that is, it's the they. It's those they that tell you stuff. So they tell you that buying a car could be right alongside a root canal. Right? It's not fun. You go in the office, the guy keeps saying, oh, I got to go talk to my boss, blah, 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 back and forth. I've been there. I have been there. So the beauty of this world now is that we could go out on the internet and look for the exact vehicle we wanted and the exact deal that we wanted from all these dealerships all across California. And the beauty of that is we got a deal from somebody somewhere that we really liked, and then we were able to communicate with the local guy and basically just say, if you could do this, you got us. You've got us. So none of that back and forth stuff. Throughout this entire process, I felt so calm because I knew that I wasn't doing this by myself. I knew, and me and Larry were not doing this alone. We had divine guidance showing us the way and keeping us calm. And so you can make a lot of bad decisions if you feel panicky, right? Like, I must have this car, I must have this one, this color, this. We were just like, let's just see what the universe has for us. And the universe just brought this car to us. Throughout this process, I was thinking about something funny about when I was a little kid and color TVs came along. My grandpa said, never. He said, it's a passing fancy. It will never last, right? So my poor grandma went to her grave never watching color TV. Super sad. And so that's that kind of thinking that keeps you stuck in what is instead of thinking what else is possible. And so this whole experience with this car was for us, what else is possible? And we're still learning, and I'm going to finish by telling you a funny story. So Larry and I stood and opened the hood of this vehicle, which we got a Chevy Equinox EV, and so it has its stuff under the hood. And we opened this thing, and I've never seen a look on Larry's face. He was just like, what? We don't know what the heck is under there or what it does. We got a lot to learn, but we are just embracing this new technology and embracing all the learning that's coming with it. And I attribute all of that consciousness to this teaching. And so that's my share. Thank you.
Welcome back, Dixie.
Welcome back, Dixie. Song's for
I'm
you.
gonna dedicate this song to Dixie.
For you.
I see trees
Trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think
give them some more love. Come on. Amazing. Wow. Amazing. Such a great day. It's a great day to be alive, isn't it? Yeah. What's up, family? Hello. Good morning, Grand Rising, and all of that jazz. Wow, I'm loud today. They got me fired up, I guess. On fire for spirit and unafraid to show it. Woo! Okay. All right, so I have a question for you all. You ready? Yep. Feel free to answer aloud. At this moment, right now, who are you? Beautiful. Good. Yeah, all right. Now, the question after that is, were you able to answer immediately and spontaneously without stopping to find words? And if you were listening, as an example, to a song, and the question came up, at this moment right now, who are you? If that question did not shock you out of listening, you might answer by humming the song, because you were in the experience, right? If the question surprised you, you might answer, at this moment right now, who are you? Just repeating it back, right? And if you actually stop to think about your answer, which we're trained to do, right? We will maybe say things about our past, like my name, your address, your profession, your previous profession, or any other personal history that comes up, right? But I love how Alan Watts is explaining that when I asked, who are you? I was asking who you are, not who you were, right? So powerful. So powerful on our topic for today, which is the marvelous moment. And the marvelous moment is now. Now, every time I say the marvelous moment, for some reason I think of the marvelous Miss Maisel. Yeah. It's just, like every single time, even walking up, I saw it on the sign and I thought about that show. I'm not going to talk about it at all, except for that. All right. Now, to be aware of reality, of the living present, is to discover that at each moment, the experience that you're having is all that there is. And so being in that experience fully is what we are called to be. And so there's nothing else beside it, the experience that you're having right now. The experience that I'm having up here, there's nothing else happening, right? There's no experience of a you experiencing the experience because you're so in it. Now, in mindfulness meditation and different meditations, or when we first get into spirituality, we are taught to become the observer, right? Which instantly separates us from the experience that we're in, which is okay when you're learning and developing your spiritual maturity, your emotional maturity. And then you've got to come back into your experience. You don't want to always be here as the observer, right? The reason we do that is so that we can train ourselves to be less hooked, less reactive by situations, yes? And so coming back fully into the experience is a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing because that's where life is happening, right here in the nowness of the moment. Are you with me? Yeah. All right, I felt it, yeah. That was a silly question. All right, so anybody dislike fear? I know, it's kind of annoying, isn't it, sometimes? Yeah. So when we're faced with fear and we run from it, if you're someone who faces fear and you run from it, the running from it is the experience of fear. And when we feel pain and fight it, like we don't want to feel this pain, we don't deserve to feel this pain, that's the pain that you're experiencing, right? And if you're trying to be brave about something, the very act of trying to be brave is having an experience of being scared. Whoa, right? This Alan Watts dude is a trip. So what he's saying is, if the mind is in pain, the mind is pain. And to to bring this home for us in this community and in this teaching. The thinker has no other form than their thought. We're the thinkers, right? We have no other form than their thought. So whatever's happening with our thought, I say this a different way, pretty much every week, but every week when I say all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind, because whatever you're thinking about is your experience, whether it's judging or joy, whether it's complaining or liberation, whether you're on a rant, on your soapbox, that's you. Good for you. Yay, you, right? But is that what you really want? Is that what you want to experience? And being really clear, I think, is the point of that, Sometimes we do want to be in that zone, but is that serving you? Because you are a creative being. We're all creative, right? We are co-creating this amazing life, and we have landed on this planet at this time in these body suits, meat suits, earth suits, whatever you want to call it, right? And this body at some point is going to be done. And I believe, and we believe, that we are eternal beings of light and we will continue on, but I won't have this body. So what am I going to do right now, Am I going to be stuck in the past, thinking about what so-and-so said, or the way they looked at me, or the way this happened, or what I don't like? Or am I going to be fully present and available to the divine and saying, use me, God, right? Use me. What's mine to do? Show me your face, beloved. I want to see you. I want to feel you. That's what I'm up to. That's what I want more than anything. And that's what I wanted when I got into this teaching, and it is always unfolding. It's a beautiful thing, friends, and this is the invitation for us. Now, as long as you are unaware of the inseparability of the thinker and the thought, you may try to escape it and may try to think that you can escape it, right? But the letting go is when it really happens. So I want to also talk briefly about physical pain. And I'm not even going to ask if anybody in here has ever been in physical pain, because I'm sure every one of us has at some point experienced it. But see what I did there? I asked without asking. Oh boy. So Watts wants us to be very clear, and Alan Watts is the author of our book of the month, but pain and the effort to be separate from the pain are the pain. Trippy, right? And so that doesn't mean don't take an Advil, right? It just means that if you're in pain and you're wanting to be separate, wanting to get out of the pain is the pain, okay? Once you discover and really get this, the desire to escape the pain merges into the pain itself, and then it vanishes, okay? So we are locking it in place with our thinking that we don't want to be doing this. We don't want the pain. We don't. And so thereby, we're keeping it in us. We're keeping it present, and that becomes our experience. Next thing you know, we're telling all our friends, "Hi, Doreen, I'm in pain." And what are you going to say? Come to my office. Come to my office. Yeah, good one. And so the question is, why not just skip the resistance or the need for separation from it, take an Advil and be free? The beautiful thing about come to my office is that for an instant, your mind got off of that thought. You probably even felt a little better for a moment, right? So that is so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. So once we discover and really get that what we resist persists, then we can move through it much more easily, much more gracefully, and swiftly. Who wants that? Yeah. Yes, all of us. Yes, you do. I saw you. So what we resist persists. Be aware, alert, and sensitive to the present moment always. That's the calling, Be aware, be alert, and sensitive to the present moment always. Now, I'm just here reminding you of things, right? I'm not giving you any new information. Now, one of your calls to action this week will be to notice ordinary moments of wonder. Marvelous moments, right? Now, you have got to be fully present in your experience to notice these moments. Otherwise, you're going to miss it. You're thinking about something, you're focused on something else, and, anybody ever have the experience of you're doing something and you get clumsy all of a sudden and you realize, oh, I was just thinking about this other thing. That happened to us, Reverend Susan, at the office one day. I'm not sure what happened, but we were talking about something but not focusing, and then the sign fell over, and then the monitor fell off the mount, and we were just like, whoa. And we went, to let it go, right? And then we put it back together, but the sign was done. Yeah. So anyway, it's about being in this moment. And I want to share a story with you now. So this week I worked out pretty hard on Tuesday morning, and I came up to the center at about 9 a.m. and lunchtime rolled around, and I was so hungry, like starving. And so I went out to find something to eat. I parked at a restaurant, and I headed toward the front door. And as I came around the corner, my eyes were drawn to it. To everyone else, it might have seemed like an ordinary chair. Matthew, this is your cue. On the back of the chair, you can see the image of it to your left. On the back of the chair, a perfect heart-shaped shadow was cast across it by dancing branches overhead. So I grinned and giggled, and I said, "Oh, hello, God," under my breath. And I just felt so much love in that moment. Whatever was on my mind, my starvation in the moment, just dissolved. And I felt so much love and joy. And it was just beautiful, right? So, it's such a sweet thing, my friends, to be courting the divine. And courting the divine is not just about turning to it in prayer or in your meditation or taking the high road. It's also about noticing in everyday, ordinary moments in your personal experience the presence of this divine something, whatever you call it, God, Spirit, Source, whatever it is to you. It's noticing that, and then we begin to look for it. And we always, 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 when? Always. Thank you. Get what we're looking for. We always get what we're looking for. Always. Okay, so this is how we deepen our personal relationship with Spirit. And I will also say that the relationship that you have with Spirit is unique to you. Your relationship may not be the same as Lori's or Sue's or Frank's, and that is okay. And your perspective of the divine or this great energy or source energy or whatever you call it, it could be different. That's one of the beautiful things about this teaching. We believe that Spirit is personal to those who feel this indwelling presence. And that is the personal relationship that you get to have, and it's courting the divine. You may not like the way I court the divine. That's fine. You can have your own way. I share these as an example, though, because you can do this too. For those of you that do love that, you can practice it, and you practice it by being in the moment, really getting present to the marvelous moment and looking for that presence of love, that presence of goodness, or whatever vocabulary you use that is personal for you. So you don't have to take on anyone else's version of the divine. You get to create your own. Now remember, you have to be fully present. You have to be fully present to experience these moments, to experience these little messages of Spirit, right? It's in the marvelous moment. And so if we're thinking about other things, then we're taking ourselves out of the moment. Why? Why, my friend, why do you keep taking yourself out of the marvelous moment? It's the moment of your life, right? It's the divine, marvelous moment. Spirit loves you exactly as you are, wants to live through you. It wants to know itself in a particular way that it can only know itself through and as you. It's a beautiful thing. And so when we court the divine with tender, expectant hearts, ordinary scenes unfold into love letters from the unseen. You want an experience of it? Just look out at the water right now, right? It's a scene of love, right? And perceiving our world with holy attention has us notice something more. And in this case, with the chair, it was a perfect heart-shaped shadow cast across the chair back from the tree branches above. It made me so happy, right? There it was, clear and unmistakable. It was like a quiet signature from Spirit, a heart projected in the perfect place, a place of rest, as if it were saying, come and rest, my love. Come and rest, you know? Like it was saying, I see you, I love you. Yeah. So when we court the divine, the world stops being merely functional and starts being and speaking in the language of love, the language of our hearts, right? So whether it's some kind of heart-shaped signature, I recognize that that is a thing for me, or something else, you know. Could be every time you see a DHL truck, I don't know, whatever. Every time you see a squirrel, or every time, you know, it just takes you to that place where you remember, that place where you remember who you are. Happens to me every Sunday when I get to be here with you all. It's a sweet thing. Yeah. For the musicians, I bet it happens every time you sing or every time you play. Oh, it's the sweetest thing. And so every vine, every beam of light, every shadow, when we're courting the divine, becomes a messenger of love. And taking that a step further, every interaction with people. Yeah? If we let it be that. So friends, may your eyes be open today and throughout the week. All right, my friends, who are you? Spirit divine. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. She was ready. Yeah, let's give her some love. Spirit divine. Yes. Practice makes permanent. All right, my friends, this is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you're doing in the here and the now. And instead of calling whatever it is you're doing work, what if you called it play? This is play, it's playtime. I love, like, this is actually a job? Okay, this is cool, right? This is like a dream come true, especially for an Enneagram 7 like me, right, Tom? It's just play, like, this is so fun. This is fun. I really love it. You know, of course, there are moments where there are challenges, of course, you know, but overall, it's fun. Even the challenges, because we always work through them. And it's like, oh, this is growing me. Oh, yay, this is growing me. Thank you for laughing. That means you all can relate. Oh, yay, it's a blessing in disguise. Right? So be engaged in the here and now. And when we drop this quest, which is what we're totally learning about in our book of the month for the month of May, that when we drop this quest of trying to find certainty in things, because we're kind of trained for that, right? Trying to make sure there's some sure things here, you know? And then, and so when we drop that quest and live from the presence, every moment becomes a fresh opportunity to impress the law with wonder and creative trust, and life demonstrates for us as miraculous. Who in here wants life to demonstrate as miraculous? Yes, sign me up. Thank you. So these Watts insights really turn our intellectual understanding of oneness and the law into a lived experience. That is the beauty and the gift of this book for the month. Now, Ernest Holmes observed, "You are an eternal being now on the pathway of endless unfoldment, never less, but always more yourself. Life is not static, it's forever dynamic." This is a deeply affirming metaphysical statement about the nature of your true self and the purpose of existence. It reframes life as an exciting, positive journey of growth rather than a struggle or a test. Remember people, oh, God's testing me. No. Nope, that's not what I believe. You are an immortal, creative being having a temporary human experience as part of an infinite adventure of self-discovery and self-expression. There is no ultimate finish line, my friends, where you become perfect and done. Instead, you are already complete and perfect at the core of your being, and life is the joyful process of expressing more and more of that completion in new and beautiful ways. Yeah, I accept that, right? Now, for some reason, this was coming up for me. Thank you for that quiet clap, Mark. I see you. He said, yes, please. This came up for me in my preparation for this talk, and I was thinking about the pandemic of all things. And one of the greatest gifts of the pandemic stay-at-home order, remember that? Yeah. Of course, right? Was that we actually got to be fully present and in the moment. 100%. Not by choice. We were forced to pivot, and we did. Pivot we did, didn't we? Now, suddenly, we had to do everything differently. And it was a very telling and instructive time to learn about our own personalities, right? Did we resist it? Or were we able to just pivot? We had to either learn new things like technology and how to use Zoom, remember that? And learn those things, or be isolated and depressed. And a really good amount of people chose to learn technology. Whereas before, I remember the very same people saying, I don't use Zoom. I prefer to be in person, and they were very adamant about it. And then all of a sudden, we had a daily check-in at the center that I was at previously. We had this daily check-in call, and there were all these people on Zoom that I'd never seen on Zoom before. I was so proud of them, but it's amazing, right? So the whole world pivoted together. Think about that and the power of that. You'll pivot if you have to, I guess, right? But you also have a choice, You also have a choice to embrace that pivot and let go of resistance. Let go of any inherent refusal to do something in a particular way just because you don't want to be inconvenienced. Now, the inconvenience for most of us on the spiritual path is to step out of our comfort zones, right? I don't want to take on that new belief, and I will not, no, I won't. I was about to do a Dr. Seuss thing or something. Yeah. You can't make me, I'm going to have to make a book. But it's like the refusal, right? There's this refusal to take on a belief, to try it on. But why? I know that's not the best question to ask, but what if instead of being in that resistance and inherently refusing, I get if you're a hesitant joiner, but instead of inherently refusing to do something in a particular way, what if you just tried it on, right? Like trying on an outfit. Just try on the sweater. You can try on this sweater if you want. Try on a sweater, right? Try on this belief. Because it's not like you won't be able to take back your old belief if it doesn't work for you. But the invitation is, usually it's about happiness. And there was a center I attended a long time ago that said, happiness guaranteed or your money back. Change your thinking, change your life, right? We don't need to be forced into discomfort and inconvenience in order to pivot. And so it's like a COVID bonus is what they were calling things, right? That were like an unexpected benefit of staying at home and being in the pandemic. But watching the group mind, or what Susan talked about, that collective consciousness, watching that unfold was powerful for me, with the lack consciousness and the fear unfolding that led to panic buying like I've never seen in my life. Toilet paper? Really? Better get it now before it runs out. Like, it wasn't even an idea in my mind until I saw it on the news. Oh my God. Oh, I don't want to run out of toilet paper. Right? And then it became a thing. Isn't that interesting? This is our life, right? And especially if we're always watching the news. Watch the news to learn what you need to pray about and whatever spiritual activism you need to get into, right? But don't let it consume you. Don't let it take over your consciousness, Don't buy into the collective consciousness, in other words, which is that underlying current of fear and, panic and, I was feeling it for a second. You know the feeling, don't you? Please, no, I'm not saying don't do something. I'm not saying don't go be an activist or go do your march. I'm not saying that. Do what you're going to do. Do what you're called to do. Everybody has their calling, right? And that's what we do. That's all we can do. All right. Wow. Okay. Back to the COVID bonus. We were thrust into a new way of living. And every time we learn something new, we become hyper aware. Every time we learn something new, we become hyper aware. Our minds expand. We start to see things we didn't see before. And we see things we didn't see before when our minds expand, hyper aware, because we couldn't see them before because we were so involved in our day-to-day stuff, right? We're so involved in our to-do lists and our calendars and our meetings and our fun that needs to be had and all the things, right? But as soon as you step out to learn something new, boom, you see things. And so that's a great reminder to learn something new, first of all, but the call is, if you're relatively new or new here, lean in, my friends. Try something new on. And if you've been coming for a while and maybe haven't been putting the things that we've been talking about into your experience, try to do it. I'm going to give you an example, a call to action toward the end here in a couple minutes. But just try it, right? So try something new. Seek to understand. Ask questions if it doesn't make sense. Ask questions, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and our spiritual self is our highest self. It's the ideal self, the perfect, whole, complete self, right? It's our highest self. It's the part of us that has never been hurt, harmed, betrayed, lied to, sick, or otherwise. And that is within each one of us. There is within us that divine perfection, the spiritual prototype of which I speak. It's within us all, and you have access to it. And this is the place of wholeness within us. Sometimes we look out in the world and things look broken, but you can come back to that place within you. Sometimes it looks broken out in the world, and sometimes it looks broken just in our own lives, right? Especially if there's some kind of a diagnosis or, something happening that we don't want to be happening. But come back to that place within. It's the wholeness within us. Our human selves are perfectly imperfect, and we learn to love ourselves as God loves us, as Spirit loves us, exactly as we are and exactly as we are not. Yeah. All right. I'm going to now share some memories of marvelous moments with you. Now lean in because I'm sharing these examples for a purpose, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Some of these marvelous moments that I love and I really get connected with the divine, and it's always like courting the divine, it's showing off for me. Now God's showing off again. But one marvelous moment for me occurs whenever there are birds flying together in the sky. Like a bunch of them, right? And sometimes they appear as this huge, like if you're on a trip, I don't see it so much around here. I see smaller groups of them, but sometimes they're like this huge, massive shape that shifts in waves that are called murmurations. And most of the time, it's a smaller group moving together, hither and yon. Hither and yon, that's a funny thing, isn't it? That came to me while I was working on my talk. I'm like, where did that come from? Spirit, you're so cute. Hither and yon. It always captivates me, and I stop to gaze at them. Sometimes I see them when I'm driving, and I'm like, full self-driving, just so I can look. The 2 taps of the side, right? But then I got to look back real quick because there's a camera looking at my face. But I love that so much. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm so captivated by it. And then another beautiful thing is the rays of sunlight that come through clouds or trees. Have you seen those? Oh, so beautiful, right? Oh, wow. And they're like these perfect lines. It's like, wow, now that is really God showing off. Wow. Perfect, distinct lines like a work of divine art. That mesmerizes me too. Light rays shining through trees has the same effect. It's just so stunning. Like, this is Spirit's creation. This is beautiful. Mesmerized. Sometimes when I'm driving and it's overcast where I am, yet off in the distance, usually it's when my husband is driving, but off in the distance I'll see a big patch of light shining, and it's like that area is crystal clear. It's lit up, and I just have to just stare at it for as long as I can. I can see all of the details. It's stunning. Mesmerized, right? Everything is crisp and clear. And then another thing that I love is prisms of light in random places. And maybe in expected places too. So some of the leadership team were at Lori's home last weekend and for a brunch, and as I greeted someone at the door, I saw like a 3-inch perfect prism. It was like the perfect prism, right? And I got so excited, I turned away from the person to look at the prism. It was so cool. And then the second fun thing I love to do is figure out where it came from. And I looked up, and there's this perfect little crystal ball in the window, shining, projecting that beautiful light out, right? Isn't that how we are, projecting that beautiful light out, if we'll let it? Sometimes when I get home, it smells like ocean. And it's such a trip to me. It's very strong, and sometimes it's a little stinky. And I'm like, what is that? I have the moment, though. It's a marvelous moment because I step out of the car and it's like, whoa. And I get a little disoriented, but I'm fully immersed in the smell, and it's high tide. I go, oh, it's high tide. And the seaweed has come up onto the shore from the depths of the ocean. A little stinky. But I remember that, and it's like I'm having the experience of ocean. Because when I step out of my car, how cool is that, right? It's less than a mile, maybe half a mile, as the crow flies, as they say. I've got all these funny expressions today, right? It's the experience of ocean. Now, finding heart shapes in the natural world, you know that about me. Seeing new parts of plants is also amazing for me, like, little new flowers coming up, or little buds starting to appear, or just the little shoots of the plant, right? Oh, it's just so beautiful. And then what about comedy? There are many marvelous moments in comedy when the comedian shares something and it's just so funny, and you laugh out loud. That is a holy moment, my friends. It's a holy moment. And I recognize the holy moment in my laughter. And then, of course, there's the obvious. You've got sunsets, gazing at the eternal vastness of the ocean, the feeling of warm sun on your skin, or the gentle breeze in the air, or watching your grandkids play and be silly, or watching your grandkids' effort. It's just amazingly divine, right? Cuddling and snuggling with your pets or your loved ones. All of that, right? And so much more. Marvelous moments. These are the moments, ordinary moments of your everyday life. Seeming synchronicity, right? Also known as God winks, are what I call divine alignment. You know, like you receive a phone call out of the blue or bump into someone who led you to a place that you've been looking for, or a person or a new relationship or some opportunity that changed your life, right? Or you hear a song on the radio and it's like the theme song for your life right now. Or it reminds you of someone and then you reach out to that someone and then things unfold from there. Or something extraordinary that you could not have planned yourself. It's not just a synchronicity, my friends. It's your built-in GPS, your built-in God positioning system. That's courting the divine. All right, so to wrap it up for today, I'm going to invite the musicians to come on up. And I'll be brief about this. So in conclusion, my friends, it's perfectly okay to practice being the observer of your experience in order to improve your emotional and spiritual maturity. And at some point, you need to step back into your experience to fully live your life in the present, in this marvelous moment, which we are all living here and now. And then see if you can drop the quest for certainty in your life, because as you do, your life will reveal itself as miraculous. Faith becomes openness, trust, creativity, and love that arise naturally from the presence. And we use the law through conscious thought to demonstrate good. Every moment is a fresh opportunity for new creation, for us to celebrate awakening and live from love. Remember, my friends, you are the sweetheart of the universe, exactly as you are. So your spiritual practice for this week, your homework, should you choose to accept it, is to start a Marvel journal. Start a Marvel journal. Note one ordinary moment of wonder daily and affirm, I am a conscious creator. This moment is perfect for my highest good. And by the way, having this assignment is going to prompt you to look for ordinary moments of wonder this week. And ask yourself the question frequently, who am I? Who am I? Thank you. All right, so let's turn our attention inward for a moment to close out this time together. As we turn within, I remember that it's true, I am the sweetheart of the universe. And I know that there's only one thing happening here and now, and it is spirit. And spirit is expressing itself in a unique and unrepeatable way through and as me, through and as each and every one of us. The entire manifest universe is the body of the divine. And as I relax into it, I let go of resistance, I let go of doubt or any need for certainty or any fear. There's nothing to fear. There's only more spirit to be revealed in our lives. And I say yes to that. And I know for each one of us that as we go forward from here into the rest of our day and the rest of our week, there's an experience of Spirit like never before. There's an experience of the divine signature everywhere we find ourselves. We remember that as we are sitting at home or sitting in our car or waiting in a line or preparing our food, that there is an invisible presence with you, beside you. And you need not be afraid. I need not be afraid, for I know who walks beside me. And it is holding me and loving me and caring for me and protecting me and looking out for me and cheering me on, inspiring me, laying out the breadcrumbs for my next move and my next move and my next thing to do and be. And I am paying attention because I am living in this marvelous moment now. And I know this is true for each of us. And we look for those marvelous moments, the ordinary goodness, those moments of awe where we feel connected. And so with great gratitude, I know this prayer is complete as I release my word into the law, knowing it is so, and so it is. And so it is.
When the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, and peace will guide the planets,
And love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the
age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius. hear all your voices. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun shine in. Let the sun shine. Woo! Let the sun shine in.
Open up your heart.
Shine in. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun shine in. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun
All right. Well, we made the gong get going too. All right, where are we? I was in another land. It's now time for our conscious giving. Will the ushers please come forward? Oh, yeah, that. Woo! Yeah, that was good. We were in the experience, right? Yes, we were, really. Let's give them some more love first. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, all right. Can you scoot over a little? What's that? The go-go dancers, yeah. Right? All right, so thank you, Jen and Kat, for being in service this morning. Let's give them some love, y'all. So grateful. If this service has inspired you in any way, please consider making a donation to our community. If you're tuning in on the live stream, you can go to paypal.me/awakeningways. And I invite you to take your gift and place it over your heart, or you can take your hand and place it over your heart. And we have a giving affirmation I invite you to please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Oh, yeah, God gives us everything we need, and I know that everything that's been given in this basket is multiplied abundantly, and it serves this community so well. And as this community is sustained by the richness of all this giving, so is the outward community around us. And I know that all the prayers that are also in the basket are also blessed, and everything is multiplied in good measure. And so I just say thank you for these gifts. Thank you for all the good it does. And I just release now my word, and knowing it is all done, and so it is.
So it is. Don't turn it off. And now our announcements angel is for today is Reverend Susan Jones. Let's give her some love. Woo.
Oh, you guys. I have to tell you one little God wink that I was inspired because of this talk. So when we were all done with the negotiations and all the papers were signed, the salesperson said, "Do you guys have a dog?" And I said, "Why, yes, we have a pug named Ruby." And he said, "I have a pug too." And he pulled out his phone, and we spent the next 10 minutes showing pictures of each other's pugs to each other. To me, that was a God wink. That was a total God wink. Okay, so today, after our service, Reverend Elizabeth will be hosting the Divine Sparkles Wisdom Circle. We usually meet right up here in this corner. If you have not joined one of these circles, you should do it. It's awesome. Everybody shares. It's just a beautiful, heartfelt, inspiring experience. And then later today at 1 o'clock, the Craft and Connect Sunday gathering at Brew will be happening in Atascadero. Crafters, and even if you're not a crafter, you can join in that group. Letting you know that the Beyond the Book group is not meeting today. It will be meeting again next Sunday, the 31st. This Monday at our center from 6 to 7:15 is Singing as a Spiritual Practice with Doreen Garvin. Woo! And then next Tuesday, the 26th, is the Spiritual Living and Prayer Connection Circle at 11 o'clock, hosted by myself and B.J. DiGirolamo. It is a beautiful, wonderful experience to share a reading from the Science of Mind magazine, and then we hold each other in prayer for the month. So please try to join us. That's also at our center. Next Sunday on the 31st, our musical guest will be Travis Hogue. Yay! Please remember to turn in your membership update form to Lori and speak with Lori if you have any questions. You want to stand? Yeah, there you go. That's Lori. All right, June is the beginning of the annual Pride celebrations, and Awakening Ways will be showing our support and love by having booths at 3 different events. The first is Atascadero Pride in the Park, and that is Sunday, June 14th from 10 to 5, 10 a.m., 5 p.m., right here at Atascadero Lake Park. Then on Saturday, June 27th, is Slow Pride in the Plaza in San Luis, Mission Plaza. And then right after that is Trans Pride in the Park in Meadow Park in Slow, and that is the following day. So we are looking for volunteers. We'll have booths at all 3 of these events, and we're looking for volunteers to show up. I have done it every year, and it is the most loving, beautiful experience, I gotta say. Joyful, too. Okay, now I'd like to tell you about a little project that we have going on here. So one of our littlest members of our community is Xander. And Xander's mom is here. She's sitting back there. You could raise your hand. I won't make you stand up or anything. Jessica is Xander's mom. And so little Xander was recently diagnosed with a medical condition that is affecting his kidneys and his liver. Now, the good news is he is being cared for. He's home. He's bouncing around like Tigger. So let me just tell you that. But he's got the whole Valley Children's Hospital in Madera just wrapping him up in their arms. He's got specialists. There is so much going on to support his health. He's got medication that he's responding well to. But we have a job. So our job is to help Xander have healthy, delicious food. So we are starting Xander's Pantry. And Xander's Pantry is an opportunity every Sunday to come and bring fresh fruit and fresh produce. Because, believe it or not, this little nugget enjoys green juice. Okay, he started when he was 2 years old, so he didn't know the difference to say, ew, right? So he drinks green juice, and so we are going to bring organic. I'm saying organic because I just think that's the best. So we're bringing spinach, we're berries, strawberries, blueberries, pineapples. I know I'm forgetting stuff. Cucumbers, celery, all kinds of things like that. And I know that as our garden starts growing, we're going to have awesome produce from our own yards, which is great. So don't feel like you need to bring a whole bag of stuff, because remember, we don't want this stuff to spoil. There he is. Look at that little cutie pie right there. So just bring one thing. Just pick up one thing when you're at the store. And also remember, loaves and fishes, they're both on the table. So Xander's Pantry and loaves and fishes are on the same table. So let's just do this. Let's just heal this baby with our food and, of course, with our prayers. You know, the soul support team is all over it, but every one of you are practitioners, and your prayers make a difference too. So let's just give it up for Xander. All right, so Awakening Ways and Reverend Elizabeth are featured in the CSL Goodness campaign in the May issue of the Science of Mind magazine. So pick up your copy today for $12 at the back table and check it out. You can also pick up a copy of our Book of the Month, The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts, and that's $16. And then let's just celebrate all our volunteers and staff for everything they do. We appreciate it so much.
All right, let's circle up. Circle up for our benediction and call and response. Let's circle up for our benediction and call and response. Woohoo! Hi there. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, my friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within. And it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationship.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
May I be
Filled